The little girl began using simple drawings to communicate. A house meant Veronica was angry. A heart meant Daddy was coming home. A sad face meant I'm scared. You're very smart, Camila. I'm much more than people think. During the week, Paloma noticed that Camila understood facial expressions better than any adult. She knew when Veronica was lying just by looking at her. How do you know? Her eyes get small. And when your daddy is sad, he doesn't. Look at me. It was impressive how the little girl read people's emotions. On Wednesday, Camila made a drawing that chilled Paloma's blood, a figure with yellow hair talking on the phone. Beside it, she wrote, Camila leaving. Where? Did you hear that, Veronica? Phone. What did she say? School. Far away. The girl had understood that Veronica wanted to send her to a boarding school. Are you scared? Camila nodded, tears in her eyes. I don't want to go. I don't want you to go either. That afternoon, Veronica came downstairs and saw Paloma giving Camila a cookie. How many times do I have to tell you? She has a schedule. It's just one cookie. One cookie becomes two. Two become three. Where do limits stop? Veronica approached Camila. Go to your room. But I'm still eating. Camila got up quickly, but the cookie fell to the floor. Look at this mess. You dirted everything. Sorry. You're so clumsy. That's why people don't have patience with you. The cruel words made Camila lower her head. Go upstairs. And I don't want to hear any noise. Camila ran up. Paloma approached Veronica. She's just a little girl, and I'm responsible for her. I don't need opinions. You just know nothing. You're here to clean, not to educate. Veronica went upstairs after Camila. Minutes later, Paloma heard the bedroom door slam shut. When Alejandro arrived, Veronica already had her version ready. How was Camila's day? Good. She played, ate well. Where is she? Resting. It was a full day. Alejandro didn't question it. He went upstairs quickly, just to say goodnight. He found Camila pretending to be asleep. Good night, princess. Good night, daddy. Tomorrow we play. All right, we'll play. But when Alejandro went back downstairs, Veronica commented, Alejandro, I've noticed Camila is becoming very dependent on the maid. What do you mean? She only wants to play when Paloma is around. When it's just the two of us, she stays quiet, a little rebellious. Rebellious. Nothing serious. Just a phase. But I think we should pay attention. Pay attention to what? Children can get confused if they receive different kinds of education from different people. Alejandro looked thoughtful. Do you think Paloma is doing something wrong? Not wrong, just different from what I do. And that could confuse Camila. I see. Nothing serious then. But I think we should talk to her about keeping consistency. The next day, Paloma arrived and found Camila a bit sad. What happened? Dear, Camila showed her a drawing. A small figure alone, far from the others. That's you. Yes. Why are you alone? Veronica said you're leaving. Paloma's heart sank. I'm not leaving. But she said Daddy doesn't like me playing with you. That's not true. No, your daddy wants you to be happy. And are you happy playing with me? Yes. Then everything is fine. Camila cheered up a little, but Paloma realized. Veronica was planting insecurities in the girl's mind. That afternoon, while Camila was drawing in the living room, Veronica approached. What drawing is that? It's Paloma. And me? Why do you always draw Paloma? You never draw me. Camila had no answer. Do you like Paloma more than me? Answer me. Do you like her more? She's nice to me, and I'm not. Nice. Camila didn't know what to say. All right, I understand. Veronica grabbed all of Camila's drawings and tore them apart. If you prefer the maid, then you don't need to draw anymore. Camila began to cry. Stop crying. Crybaby. Children are annoying. When Paloma later saw the torn drawings in the trash, she felt a huge anger, but she knew she couldn't confront Veronica directly. At the end of the day, as she was getting ready to leave, she found Camila hiding behind the curtain in the living room. What are you doing there? Hiding. From who? Veronica. She's mad at me. Why? Because I like you. The phrase broke Paloma's heart. Camila was being punished for loving her. Camila, there's nothing wrong with liking me. Yes, there is. Veronica said so. Veronica is wrong. Camila showed a crumpled piece of paper. She had managed to save one drawing before Veronica destroyed the rest. It was a small figure with tears in her eyes. That's me. And why are you crying in the drawing? Because Veronica is going to send me away. If I love you. Paloma hugged Camila. knowing the situation was becoming more dangerous. Veronica was not only being cruel, she was systematically destroying every source of joy in Camila's life. And worst of all, Alejandro had no idea what was happening in his own house. Alejandro decided to work from home on Thursday. He wanted to observe the family dynamic more closely. "I'll stay home today," he announced at breakfast. Veronica tensed. "But you have that important meeting." "I rescheduled. I want to spend time with Camila." Alejandro, she has a routine. If you change it, she gets restless. Restless? Or just happy to see her dad? The question caught Veronica off guard. That morning, Alejandro observed everything carefully. Camila was playing in the living room when Veronica came over. "Camila, put those toys away. Can I play a little longer?" "No. Your dad is working and needs silence." "But I'm not making noise." "Yes, you are. Now put them away." Alejandro, sitting in his office with the door open, knew Camila wasn't making any noise. Minutes later, Paloma approached the girl. "Do you want help putting them away?" "Yes." "How about a game? Red cars in one box, blue ones in another." "Game." Camila lit up. In 5 minutes, everything was tidy, and she had learned how to separate by colors. "Very good, you're super smart." Alejandro noticed the difference. With Veronica, Camila cleaned up in fear. With Paloma, she learned while playing. In the afternoon, Alejandro went down to play with his daughter. "What do you want to do? Can I show you what I know?" "Of course." Camila ran to get paper and crayons. "I can write my name," she said, writing with shaky but legible letters. "Wow, who taught you?" "Paloma." Alejandro looked at Paloma, surprised. "She's very smart. She learns fast." "Camila, what else do you know?" The girl showed she could count to 20, say a few words in English, and tie her shoes. "I'm good. Very good. I'm impressed." It was clear Alejandro was seeing his daughter with new eyes. From the kitchen, Veronica watched, upset. "Alejandro, isn't she getting too restless?" "Restless? She's happy. But look at her, talking loudly, gesturing. She's excited because someone is paying attention to her." At dinner, Camila began to tell about her. Camila shared her drawings, songs she knew, and stories she liked. "She was very talkative today." "She has always been talkative," Veronica said critically. "She just needed someone to listen to her." After dinner, Alejandro took Camila to her room. "Did you like playing with me?" "I loved it, princess." "Can you do it again?" "I can every day." Alejandro looked into his daughter's eyes. She was begging for attention. "I'll try harder." "Do you promise?" "I promise." When he went downstairs, he found Veronica in the living room with a serious face. "I need to talk to you." "About what?" "About today. Did you see how Camila behaved?" "How?" "Restless, noisy." "That's not normal, Alejandro." "For the first time in a long time, I saw my daughter happy. But special children need calm, routine. She needs love and attention. And do you think I don't give her that?" Alejandro hesitated. "Yes, you do, but maybe not in the way she really needs." "Oh? And what way is that?" "Today I saw an intelligent, curious girl, different from the limited child you always describe. She had a good day, but her limitations are still there. Or maybe she has more potential than we realize." "Alejandro, you work outside. I spend all day with her. That's exactly why I want to observe more." "Are you doubting my care?" "I'm not doubting you. I just want to understand better. Why does Camila seem like a different girl when you're not around?" Veronica was left speechless. "Tomorrow, I want to be with her again, Veronica. This isn't a request, it's a decision." That night, Alejandro thought about everything he had seen. Camila was more capable than he imagined, and Paloma had achieved in weeks what neither he nor Veronica had accomplished in years. For the first time, he began to question whether Veronica truly wanted the best for Camila or only what was easiest for her. The next day, Veronica woke up determined to regain control. Alejandro left for work, saying, "I want Camila to have a good day." But Veronica had other plans. "Camila, come here." The little girl came down excited because her dad had promised to play with her again in the afternoon. "I need to talk to you about yesterday." Camila sat on the edge of the couch. "You worried your dad." "How?" "You got too restless, too noisy." "But he said he liked it." "He only said that so you wouldn't feel bad. Later he told me you need to learn to control yourself." Camila was confused. She was sure her dad had been happy. Daddy likes calm, polite kids, not kids who shout and make noise. "No, I didn't shout." "Yes, you did." And if you keep acting like that, he won't want to play with you anymore. No, no. No one likes rude children. Camila started doubting herself. If you want him to keep loving you, you need to stay quiet, not talk too much, not make noise. But he asked me to tell him things. He was just being polite. Actually, he got tired. Tears filled Camila's eyes. Don't cry. Crying is ugly. Daddy hates crybabies. Camila swallowed her tears, hurt and confused. Now go to your room. Remember, if you want him to love you, stay silent. Camila went upstairs slowly, crushed by Veronica's lies. When Paloma arrived, the house was strangely quiet. Where's Camila? In her room, resting. Is she okay? She's fine. She's just learning how to behave better. Can I see her? No, she needs discipline. Paloma spent the morning worried. She didn't hear any sound from Camila's room. At lunchtime, Veronica finally called the girl. You can come down. Camila came down with red eyes, but without crying. Hello, dear. Paloma whispered. Camila looked at her, but didn't answer. Camila, Paloma greeted you. Hello. The girl responded without energy. During lunch, Camila ate silently, without lifting her eyes. See how well-behaved she is? Veronica commented. Much better than yesterday. But Paloma knew this wasn't good behavior. It was sadness. In the afternoon, Alejandro arrived excited. Where's my princess? In her room. But she's acting a little strange today. Strange how? Very quiet, kind of sad. I think she felt embarrassed about yesterday. Embarrassed? What? Kids sometimes realize when they misbehave. Alejandro went upstairs, confused. He found Camila sitting on the bed, looking out the window. Hello, princess. Hello, sir. Sir? Why don't you call me daddy? Veronica said it's more polite. Camila, I am your daddy. Call me daddy. Okay. What do you want to do today? Whatever sir wants. I want to know what you want. Camila stayed silent. Yesterday you were so excited. What happened? I misbehaved. Who told you that? Veronica. Alejandro felt upset. Camila, I loved playing with you yesterday. But Veronica said you got tired. Veronica was wrong. I wasn't tired, and I want to play again. A small smile appeared on Camila's face. Can I show you my new drawing? Of course. But when Alejandro saw the drawings, he was shocked. They were sad figures, people crying. Why are your drawings sad? I don't know. Are you sad? Camila looked toward the hallway with fear. Sometimes. Why? I can't say. With me, you can say anything. Veronica said I can't tell secrets. Alejandro felt something was wrong. What kind of secrets? I can't tell, or you won't love me anymore. The words alarmed Alejandro. Camila, I will always love you. Always. The girl looked into her father's eyes, wanting to believe him, but still afraid. Alejandro went downstairs, disturbed. He found Veronica in the kitchen. What secrets? Can't Camila tell me? Secrets? Oh, I just explained that she shouldn't repeat everything she hears. Children sometimes distort things. Distort how? Well, Alejandro, she has Down syndrome. Sometimes she misunderstands and explains things in a confusing way. But she seemed afraid to tell me something, afraid of disappointing you. I teach her to think before speaking. The explanation seemed logical, but Alejandro still doubted. Something didn't add up, and he was going to find out what. That weekend, Alejandro started observing carefully. He began noticing small things he had never paid attention to before. On Saturday morning, during breakfast, Camila spilled some milk on the table. Careful, Camila, Veronica said irritably. Sorry. Camila shrank her shoulders, as if expecting a harsher scolding. It's okay, princess. That happens, Alejandro said, cleaning with a napkin. Camila looked at her dad in surprise, as if she wasn't used to such calm reactions. Later in the afternoon, Alejandro was reading in the office when he heard Veronica in the living room. Camila, stop making noise with those toys. Alejandro listened. The sound was minimal, just blocks being stacked. But I'm not making noise. Yes, you are. Your dad is trying to work. Can I play more quietly? No. Put everything away and go to your room. Alejandro frowned. Why couldn't Camila play in the living room of her own house? On Sunday, he decided to try something. Camila, do you want to help me wash the car? Can I? Of course. But Veronica quickly interrupted. She'll just get dirty and could slip with the water. Alejandro took Camila to the patio. The little girl beamed with joy while helping to soap up the car. I like helping, Daddy. And I like your help, he answered. When they came back, Veronica commented, "Just look at how dirty she is now. She'll have to bathe again." "No problem," Alejandro said. "For you maybe, but I'm the one who has to bathe her." "I can bathe her." "You, Alejandro? You don't even know how." "I can learn. She needs special care. She has a whole routine." Alejandro noticed that Veronica always found excuses to keep him from taking care of his own daughter. On Monday, he decided to make a more direct attempt. "Veronica, today I'm going to pick up Camila from school." "Why?" "Because I want to. But I always pick her up. She's used to me. She can get used to me too." "Alejandro, changes in routine make her nervous." "How do you know? Have we tried?" "There's no need to try. Special children function better with a fixed routine. Or maybe she just needs more flexibility." Veronica was annoyed by Alejandro's insistence. That afternoon, when he went to pick Camila up, Alejandro spoke with her teacher. "How is Camila doing?" "Very well. She's one of our most dedicated students." "Dedicated?" "Yes, she does all her activities, interacts well with the other children. She's very affectionate, and her behavior is exemplary. We've never had problems with her." Alejandro was confused. The teacher's description didn't match the difficult child Veronica always described. "At home, does she talk much?" "Yes, sometimes she talks a lot about Paloma. I think that's the nanny, the housemaid." "Yes, she adores Paloma. She always draws the two of them playing together." "And about her stepmother?" The teacher hesitated. "Well, she doesn't talk much about that. She doesn't say anything. Once she drew a female figure she called stepmother, but in the drawing the figure was far away from the others, separated, as if she weren't part of the family." On the way home, Alejandro thought hard. At school, Camila was described as affectionate and well-behaved. At home, according to Veronica, she was difficult and problematic. What was the truth? When they got home, Veronica asked, "How was it?" "Fine." The teacher said Camila is one of the best students. "Of course, she behaves well at school. The problem is at home." "Why would it be different?" "Because at home she feels more comfortable throwing tantrums. Or maybe at home she feels less accepted." The words slipped out before Alejandro realized it. Veronica was offended. "Are you insinuating that I don't accept her?" "I'm not insinuating anything." "Yes, you are. You think I mistreat her." "I just think maybe we could be more positive with her." "Positive? Like praising her more and criticizing her less." "Alejandro, too much praise spoils children. She needs limits." "Of course she does. But she also needs affection." "And you think I don't give her affection?" Alejandro looked at his wife. When was the last time he had seen Veronica hug Camila spontaneously? Or praise something she had done? "I think we could all improve." But deep down, Alejandro was beginning to seriously question whether Veronica truly loved Camila or only tolerated her presence. The next day, Veronica woke up knowing she needed to act. Alejandro was asking too many questions, observing too closely. "Paloma, I need to talk to you." "Yes, ma'am. I've noticed you're getting too involved with Camila." "How so?" "Teaching her things, playing with her. That's not part of your job. She likes to learn. But Alejandro and I decide what she should learn, not you." Paloma stayed quiet. "Besides, Camila is becoming too dependent on you. That's not healthy. She just nothing. You're confusing a child who already has limitations." "Senora Veronica, I only want to help." "The best way to help is to do your job. Clean the house. That's it. And if Camila wants to talk to you, you listen politely, but don't fill her head with ideas." "What kind of ideas?" "That she's smarter than she really is, or that she can do things she cannot." Paloma felt anger, but controlled herself. "I understand." "Perfect. Because if I find you interfering again in her education, I'll have to dismiss you." The threat was clear. Paloma nodded and went back to work. Later, Camila came into the kitchen. "Paloma, why you sad?" "I'm not sad, dear." "Yes, you are. Your eyes look different." Camila's perception was impressive. "Sometimes adults just worry about work things." "Veronica was mean to you." Paloma hesitated. How could she answer without lying, but without making things harder? "Veronica only wants me to do my job well." "You do it well." "Thank you, dear." Camila stayed thoughtful. "Paloma, are you going to leave?" "Why do you ask that?" "Veronica said you might go." Paloma's heart sank. Veronica was using the threat to frighten Camila too. "I'm not going to leave." "Promise." "I promise." But inside, Paloma knew that promise might be hard to keep. That afternoon, Alejandro came home from work and found Camila unusually quiet. What did you do today, princess? I played in my room alone. Why not in the living room? Camila glanced at Veronica before answering. Because I have to be quiet. Who told you that? Veronica. She said you like the house silent. Alejandro looked at his wife, confused. I never said I wanted the house silent. Not directly, Veronica explained. But you always complain when you come home tired and there's noise. What noise? Camila playing. Sometimes she gets restless. Veronica, she's 7 years old. 7-year-olds make noise. But special children need more discipline. Discipline doesn't mean total silence. Alejandro knelt in front of Camila. Princess, you can play in the living room. You can make noise like any child. It's okay. But Veronica said, forget what Veronica said. Daddy is telling you that you can. Camila looked uncertainly between her father and her stepmother. Alejandro, don't you think that will confuse her? Veronica interrupted. What confuses her is receiving contradictory orders. They're not contradictory. They're complementary. I handle daily discipline. You can be more flexible on weekends. Why only weekends? Because during the week, she needs strict routine. Alejandro was getting irritated with so many rules. Camila, from now on you can play wherever you want in the house. Okay, Daddy. Veronica looked visibly upset. That night, after Camila was asleep, the argument erupted. Alejandro, are you undermining my authority? Authority, or excessive control? Necessary control. You don't spend the whole day with her. And whose fault is that? You always find excuses for me not to be with her. Because you don't understand her needs, or because you don't want me to. Veronica was left speechless for a moment. Alejandro, I'm trying to protect you. Protect me from what? From being disappointed. Camila has real limitations. If you expect too much, the only limitations I see are the ones you set yourself. The phrase came out harsher than Alejandro intended, but it was what he truly felt. I don't set limitations. I recognize reality. What reality? The teacher said she is one of the best students. At school, it's different. Why would it be different? Veronica had no convincing answer. Alejandro, you've changed a lot since that maid arrived. Changed? How? Questioning. Everything I do, doubting my care for Camila. Maybe because I'm seeing Camila with new eyes. What eyes? The eyes of a father who realized he was neglecting his own daughter. Alejandro went upstairs, leaving Veronica alone in the living room. She knew she was losing control of the situation. Alejandro was waking up, Camila was becoming more confident, and it was all Paloma's fault. It was time to get rid of her once and for all. The next day, Veronica called a friend. Hi, Patricia. Do you know any reliable maid agencies? Why? Are you firing the one you have? Too many problems. I need to replace her urgently. What did she do? She's interfering where she shouldn't, influencing Camila in the wrong way. What kind of influence? Filling her head with wrong ideas, making her question my authority. And Alejandro knows he's being manipulated too. This woman is dangerous. Then fire her. It's not that simple. Alejandro likes her work. I need a solid justification. What kind of justification? Something that proves she's not trustworthy. Veronica hung up with a plan forming in her mind. If she couldn't fire Paloma for obvious reasons, she would create reasons Alejandro couldn't ignore. The first step was to turn Camila against Paloma. After all, if the girl herself rejected the maid, Alejandro would have no choice but to dismiss her. Veronica smiled coldly. It would be easier than she imagined. Camila was just a little girl with Down syndrome. How could she resist the manipulation of a determined adult? But Veronica underestimated two things: Camila's emotional intelligence and the strength of the bond she had built with Paloma. The war was just beginning, and without knowing it, Camila would become the centerpiece of a battle for her own happiness. On Wednesday, Veronica woke up determined. Alejandro was asking too many questions. It was time to get rid of Paloma for good. She waited until Alejandro left and called Camila. I need your help today. With what? We're going to find out if Paloma is honest. Veronica took a gold bracelet from her wrist. I'll leave this in a special place. If she takes it, we'll know she's a thief. She doesn't steal. We'll see. You can't tell anyone. It's our secret. If you tell, Paloma will escape before we can prove she's bad. Camila was confused but nodded. Veronica, hid the bracelet inside the kitchen cloth that Paloma always used for cleaning. Now stay quiet and watch. When Paloma arrived, she began her chores as usual. Paloma, can you clean the kitchen today? It needs a deep cleaning. Of course, ma'am. Paloma grabbed the kitchen cloth. The bracelet fell to the floor with a noise. How strange, she murmured, bending down to pick it up. It was exactly what Veronica wanted. Camila, come here now. The girl ran into the kitchen, scared. Look at this, I caught Paloma stealing. Camila saw Paloma holding the bracelet, confused. Paloma, what are you doing with my bracelet? It fell from the cloth. I don't know how it got there. How could my bracelet end up in a cloth? I don't know, ma'am. I just grabbed the cloth and it fell. Camila, you saw Paloma with my bracelet. The girl looked at both of them, unsure. Yes, she had the bracelet. Then she stole it. No, I didn't steal anything. Paloma protested. Of course you did. It was hidden in the cloth so you could take it later. That's not true. Camila, you saw her with the bracelet, right? Camila nodded, but she was clearly confused. Take your things and get out of my house. Ma'am, please let me explain. There's nothing to explain. Thieves don't stay in my house. I never stole anything. The bracelet was in the cloth. How convenient. Paloma looked desperately at Camila. Camila, you. No, I would never steal. You know me. Camila looked into Paloma's eyes and saw genuine desperation, but remembered Veronica had told her it was a secret. I don't know. Take your things now. Paloma picked up her bag with tears in her eyes. Camila, I'm going to miss you so much. The girl began to cry as Paloma left. Stop crying. You should be happy. We got rid of a thief. I didn't want her to leave. She was bad, Camila. You'll understand when you grow up. But Camila kept crying all day. When Alejandro came home that night, Veronica told him her version. I fired Paloma today. Why? I caught her stealing my gold bracelet. What do you mean stealing? Camila saw her with the bracelet in her hand. Alejandro looked at his daughter. Camila, what did you see? I saw Paloma with bracelet. Where? In the kitchen. Did you see her take it from somewhere? Camila hesitated. She remembered Veronica said it was a secret. I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Bracelet, it fell. It fell? From where? From the cloth. Alejandro frowned. Veronica, the bracelet was in the cleaning cloth? Yes, she hid it there. You saw her hide it? I didn't need to. The evidence was there. What evidence? If she hid it, why would she let it fall right in front of you? Because we caught her off guard. Alejandro wasn't convinced. Camila, did Paloma look like she was stealing? No, she looked scared. Scared like she didn't understand. The innocent remark made Alejandro think. Where is Paloma now? I don't know. I don't care. I'm going to find her. For what? To hear her side. Alejandro, don't you believe me? I just want to be sure before accusing someone of theft. Veronica grew nervous. If you bring that thief back, I'll leave the house. Veronica, that's not a threat. That's a decision. Alejandro looked at his wife, noticing for the first time her tone of ultimatum. Why are you so afraid of me talking to her? I'm not afraid. I just don't accept thieves in my home. If she really stole, then there's no problem in me talking to her. The problem is that you don't want me to doubt your word. I'm not doubting. I just want to understand better. Veronica realized she was being too defensive. Fine, do what you want. But if she comes back, I'll leave. Alejandro stayed thoughtful. Veronica's reaction was too strange. The next day, he decided to investigate on his own. On Thursday, Alejandro left for work, but returned an hour later without warning. He parked far away and entered through the back. He wanted to see how Camila was doing without Paloma. He found the girl sitting alone in the living room, not playing with anything. Hi, princess. Daddy. Camila ran into his arms. Why? Did you come back? Veronica appeared, surprised. I forgot some documents. Alejandro bent down to Camila. Why aren't you playing? I don't want to. Why not? I'm sad. Trist looked at Veronica with fear. I miss Paloma. Camila, we already talked about that. Veronica intervened. Paloma was bad. She wasn't bad. Yes, she was. She stole from us. No, she didn't. Alejandro paid attention to the conviction in the girl's voice. Camila, how do you know she didn't steal? The girl looked at Veronica, torn, because the bracelet wasn't hers. Exactly. That's why she stole it. No. Camila grew agitated. Veronica put the bracelet in the rag. Total silence filled the room. What did you say? Alejandro asked. Veronica put it there. Camila, stop making up stories, Veronica shouted. I didn't make it up. I saw you put it there. Alejandro looked at his wife. Veronica, you put the bracelet in the rag. Of course. Not. She's confused. I'm not confused. You said it was a secret. Camila has Down syndrome, Alejandro. She makes things up. I don't make things up. Camila began to cry. Alejandro picked up his daughter. Calm down, princess. Tell daddy what happened. Veronica put the bracelet in the rag so Paloma would find it. Why? To say that Paloma was bad. Alejandro felt his blood boil. And she told you not to tell. She told me. It was a secret. Alejandro looked at Veronica with an expression she had never seen. Is that true, Veronica? Are you really going to believe a child? With mental problems? She doesn't have mental problems. Yes, she does. She's making this up to defend the maid. Why would she invent something so specific? Because she misses Paloma and wants her back. Alejandro set Camila on the couch. Princess, go to your room for a minute. Daddy needs to talk with Veronica. Camila ran off. Veronica, tell me the truth. I already did. The real truth. Did you set up Paloma or not? Veronica realized she had no way out. I suspected she was stealing. Things would go missing and she was always nearby. What things? An earring, a pen. And you thought testing her with your gold bracelet was a good idea? I wanted to be sure. And when she didn't take the bracelet, you decided to accuse her anyway. She did take it. No, Veronica. She found the bracelet because you put it there. But her intention could have been to steal. Intention? Are you accusing someone over intention? Alejandro shouted. You destroyed the reputation of an innocent person. You were hurting our family. Veronica defended herself. How? By making Camila rebel. By making you question my care. Maybe because your care deserves to be questioned. I take good care of Camila. Taking good care means using her to lie about an innocent person? Veronica had no response. I'm going to find Paloma to apologize, and then I'll ask her to come back. Alejandro, if you do that, I'll leave this house. Then leave. Veronica was in shock. What do you mean, leave? If you can't live with someone who makes my daughter happy, the problem is yours. Are you choosing a maid over your wife? I'm choosing to do the right thing. Alejandro grabbed his keys. Where are you going? To find Paloma. And if she doesn't want to come back, I'll understand. After what you did, she has every right. Alejandro, if you walk out that door, what will you do? Nothing. Just reflect on our marriage. Alejandro left, leaving Veronica alone with her exposed lies. He went upstairs to Camila's room. You spoiled child. You told everything. You said not to tell lies. I told you not to tell the secret. But Daddy asked, and you couldn't have lied? I don't like lying. Veronica looked at the girl with hatred. Because of you, I'm going to lose my husband. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't help. You ruined everything. Camila began to cry. Stop crying. It doesn't fix anything. Veronica stormed out of the room, slamming the door. She knew that when Alejandro returned with Paloma, her position in the house would become unsustainable. It was time to leave, but not without striking one last blow. If she couldn't stay with Alejandro, she would make sure no one else could either. Alejandro drove through the city looking for Paloma. He remembered she had mentioned living in a neighborhood near downtown. After an hour of searching, he stopped at a gas station to ask if anyone knew a woman named Paloma who worked as a maid. Paloma Hernandez? The attendant replied. Yes, I know her. She's right there on the corner selling food. Alejandro found Paloma at a simple food stand, serving meals to workers. Paloma. She turned, surprised. Mr. Alejandro, can I talk to you? Of course. They stepped away from the stand. I came to apologize. Camila told me the truth about the bracelet. Paloma remained silent. Veronica set it all up. She put the bracelet in the rag to incriminate you. I knew something was wrong, but who was going to believe me? You were right, and I'm sorry for not investigating sooner. Thank you for believing now. Paloma, I want to offer you your job back. She hesitated. I don't know if it's a good idea. Why? Because Mrs. Veronica is still there, and she clearly hates me. Actually, I think Veronica will be leaving the house. How so? We fought. She said if I brought you back, she would leave. And you chose to bring me back? I chose to do what's right for Camila. Paloma looked toward the food stand, then back at Alejandro. How is Camila? Destroyed. Crying. not wanting to play. She asks about you all the time. Poor thing. She's the one who told you the truth. Even scared, she defended me. She's a special girl. Yes, and she needs you. Paloma thought for a few seconds. All right, I'll come back. But if Mrs. Veronica mistreats me again, I'll leave and never return. That won't happen, I guarantee it. They returned together to the house. When they entered, the house was strangely quiet. Camila, Alejandro called. Daddy, a voice came from upstairs. Come down, I have a surprise. Camila slowly came downstairs and saw Paloma. She ran into her arms. Hello, dear. I missed you so much. You came back. Will you stay forever? I promise. Where's Veronica? Alejandro asked. In her room, packing. Packing. She said she's leaving. Alejandro went upstairs and found Veronica packing her things. So you decided to go. I have no choice, do I? You made it clear you prefer them. I prefer truth over lies. Alejandro, I made a mistake. Mistake? You destroyed the reputation of an innocent person. I was trying to protect our family. Protect us from what? From someone who makes Camila happy? From someone who was giving her the love you never did. Camila was never yours. You never tried to earn her love. Yes, I did. By lying to her, by using her in your schemes. Veronica stopped packing. Alejandro, give me another chance. I can change. How? I can learn to handle Camila better. Veronica, you used my daughter to frame an innocent woman. How? Can I trust you after that? Because I love you. Love doesn't do what you did. Alejandro, please. Veronica, it's better if you leave. We need time to think. Time for what? To decide if we still have a future together, and if I don't leave, then it's going to get very uncomfortable for everyone. Veronica realized she no longer had any bargaining power. Fine, but this isn't over. Alejandro, what do you mean? Camila is a special child. She needs care that a maid cannot provide. What kind of care? A mother's care. And if I can't be her mother, maybe it's better for her to go with a family who can take proper care of her. What are you talking about? I'm talking about the fact that there are families specialized in children like Camila, Veronica, are. You suggesting that I abandon my daughter? I'm suggesting that you think about her well-being. Her well-being is staying with the father who loves her and with a maid as a mother figure. Better a maid who loves her than a stepmother who mistreats her. Veronica finished packing in silence. Alejandro, are you going to regret this decision? Why? Because raising a special child alone isn't easy, and no woman will want to marry a man who has a problematic daughter. Camila isn't problematic. For you, no? But for society? Yes. Let society deal with it. Veronica came downstairs with her suitcases. In the living room, she found Camila playing with Paloma. Camila, come say goodbye. The girl looked at her without moving. Don't you wanna? No, why not? Because you're mean. I'm not mean. I only tried to educate you. You lied about Paloma. Camila, go. And don't come back. Camila's coldness surprised even Alejandro. Fine, but someday you'll understand I was trying to protect you. Protect me from what? Camila asked. From people who pretend to love you. Camila looked at Paloma and then back at Veronica. Paloma doesn't pretend. You pretended. The simple, direct observation left Veronica speechless. She left the house knowing she had lost everything, but also knowing she wouldn't give up so easily. If she couldn't have Alejandro, she would make sure he wouldn't be happy either. And she knew exactly how to do it. With Veronica gone, life completely changed. Camila smiled again, played, and learned with Paloma. Alejandro started working part-time to spend more time with his daughter. For the first time, he felt like he had a real family. Daddy, can I ask something? Camila said during dinner. Of course. Princess, is Veronica coming back? I don't know. Why do you ask? Because I'm scared. Scared of what? That she'll be mean again. Alejandro looked at Paloma, who was helping Camila cut her food. Princess, if Veronica ever comes back, she'll have to promise to be good to you. And if she lies? What do you mean? If she promises but is still mean? The question showed how Camila had learned to distrust adults. Then I won't let her come back. Promise? I promise. Camila smiled and continued eating. After dinner, Alejandro tucked Camila into bed and went downstairs to talk with Paloma. How do you think she's handling all this? Better than I expected. Children are resilient. But the things Veronica said, do you think they caused her any trauma? They did, but love heals trauma. And Camila knows she's loved. By me and by you. Yes, Alejandro fell silent for a moment. Paloma, can I ask you a personal question? You can? Why do you care so much about Camila? Because she reminds me of my brother. You had a brother with Down syndrome? I had. He died when I was 15. How? Pneumonia. But in reality, he died from lack of love. What do you mean? My parents were ashamed of him. They kept him hidden, never took him anywhere, never stimulated him. When he got sick, they barely fought to save him. Alejandro was shocked. When I saw how Veronica treated Camila, I remembered Joaquin, and I swore I wouldn't let it happen again. That's why you've dedicated yourself so much to her. That. And because she deserves it. Camila is an incredible girl. Yes, she is. They stayed talking late into the night about Camila's future, school, activities. For a week, everything was perfect. But on Friday, Alejandro received a call at work. Alejandro. Montemayor. Yes, this is Leticia Aguirre from DIF. Alejandro's skin crawled. Tell me that we received a report of negligence involving a minor in your care. What do you mean negligence? Camila Montemayor, 7 years old, Down syndrome. What happened? According to the report, the girl is being cared for by an unqualified maid while the father works. The maid is fully capable, and I'm working part-time.mr. Alejandro, I need to make a technical visit to evaluate the situation. When? This afternoon. It's urgent. The report alleges imminent risk to the girl. Alejandro hung up, trembling. He knew exactly who had made the report. He ran home. Paloma. Camila. What happened? Paloma appeared frightened. Veronica reported us to DIF. What do you mean she reported us? She said Camila is being neglected, but that's not true. I know. But they're coming today to do an evaluation. And if they believe the report, they could take Camila away from me. Paloma went pale. What do we do? Prepare everything perfectly. House clean, Camila well cared for, documents in order. And me? What about you? I'm just a maid. No degree, no official qualification. And if they think I can't care for her, Alejandro hadn't thought about that. We'll explain you have experience, that Camila loves you. Alejandro, if they want to be strict, they'll say special children need a certified caregiver. So what do you suggest? That you hire a nanny with a technical degree? And you? I'll stay on as the maid. But officially, I won't be the one caring for Camila. But she won't accept anyone else that she'll have to, at least until this situation is resolved at 3 p.m. Leticia Aguirre arrived with a social worker. Good afternoon. I'm Leticia Aguirre. This is social worker Monica. Good afternoon. Please, come in. Where's Camila? In her room, resting. Can I see her? Of course. They went upstairs. Camila was playing with building blocks. Hello, Camila. I'm Leticia. Hello. How are you? Good. Who takes care of you when your daddy works? Camila looked at Alejandro. Unsure. Aunt Monica. Alejandro lied, pointing at the social worker, who understood the signal. And where is Aunt Monica? Here. The social worker played along. Hello, Camila. How was your day? Good. The questions continued for half an hour. Camila answered everything well. But Alejandro noticed she was confused by the situation. Afterwards, they spoke to Alejandro alone. The report alleges that an unqualified maid is in charge of the girl. As you can see, that's not true. Monica is a licensed teacher. May I see her degree? Alejandro was in trouble. It's in her car. She can go get it. The social worker went out to look for the non-existent degree.mr. Alejandro, the person who made the report. She claims to have detailed information about negligence. What kind of information? That the girl is left alone with the maid. That she does not receive adequate stimulation. That she is being harmed in her development. That's a lie. Can I talk to the complainant? Who is Veronica Estrada? She says she is the girl's stepmother. Ex-stepmother. We are separated. That's why she filed the complaint. Probably LC Aguirre wrote everything down. I'm going to make a report based on what I saw today. The girl seems well cared for. She is very well cared for. But I will need to follow the situation for a few weeks. No problem. After they left, Alejandro sat on the couch, exhausted. And now? Paloma asked. Now we pray that Veronica doesn't have more tricks up her sleeve. But Alejandro knew Veronica would not give up. The war had just begun, and this time not only Camila's happiness was at stake, but also her custody. That on Monday, Alejandro hired LC Fernando Villasenor, a lawyer specialized in family law. The complaint is serious. Fernando explained. She alleges neglect and incapacity, but legally Camila is well cared for. The problem is that Paloma has no official certification to care for special needs children. And what does that mean? They may decide that Camila needs a certified caregiver or even transfer custody. To whom? To whoever the judge considers more suitable, including Veronica. Alejandro felt his world collapsing. Is there any solution? Some. You can hire a certified nanny, enroll Camila in a full-time school, or marry Paloma. How so? If she is your wife, she can legally care for Camila. A stepmother has rights. But isn't that too obvious? Yes, but if you truly love each other, it can work. Alejandro returned home deep in thought. He found Paloma helping Camila with homework. How did it go, Daddy? Camila asked. Good, princess, keep studying. Alejandro called Paloma to the kitchen. The situation is complicated. LC Fernando said they could take Camila from me. How could they take her? If they prove you're not qualified to care for her. And what do we do? Are there options? Alejandro explained the alternatives. Paloma stayed silent. And the marriage option? She asked. It would be convenient, but I don't want you to feel obligated. Alejandro, can I be honest? Of course. I love you. For a long time. Alejandro was surprised. Really? Really? But I never said it because you were married, and later because I thought it was only gratitude. It's not gratitude. I also fell in love with you. Truly. Watching how you love Camila, how you take care of her, how you make this house a real home. They came closer. So, do you want to marry me? Alejandro asked. To protect Camila, to protect our family. Our family. Paloma, I don't know how to explain it, but you two became my life. I can't imagine existing without this. Me neither. It's a yes. It's a yes. They kissed for the first time, sealing not only a legal commitment, but an emotional one. But we must be discreet, Alejandro said. If it looks too much like strategy, I understand. The next day, they went to the civil registry. A simple civil wedding, only with the required witnesses. Now you're officially Mrs. Montemayor, Alejandro said as they left. And Camila has a legal mother. When they arrived home, Camila ran to greet them. Where did you go? We did something important, Alejandro said. What? Paloma is now my wife. Camila looked confused. Wife? It's like when two people love each other very much and decide to be family. Paloma is family. She always was, but now it's official. You can call her whatever you like. Camila looked at Paloma. Can I call you mommy? Paloma became emotional. If you want to. I want to. Then you can, mommy. It was the first time Camila had said that word since her biological mother's death. That afternoon, Elsie Aguirre arrived for the fourth visit. Good afternoon. I heard there were changes in the family situation. Yes, I married Paloma. When? This morning. Very convenient, don't you think? Elsie Aguirre, may I be frank? You may? Yes, it was convenient, but it was also something I had wanted to do for a long time. How so? I fell in love with Paloma watching how she cared for Camila. The legal timing only accelerated a decision I had already made emotionally. And you, Paloma? Did you also conveniently fall in love? Counselor, I fell in love with Alejandro long before knowing about the legal problems. If it were only convenience, I would have looked for another job. Why didn't you? Because I couldn't abandon Camila, especially being mistreated by his ex-wife. Mostly because Camila needed someone to believe in her. Elsie Aguirre wrote everything down. May I talk to Camila? Of course. She went up to the girls' room. Hello, Camila, how are you? Good. I heard you have a new mom now. Yes, Mommy Paloma. And how do you feel about that? Happy. Why? Because now I have a complete family. Explain that to me. Daddy, Mommy, and me. Like other families. And do you like your Mommy Paloma? I like her a lot. What do you like about her? She plays with me. She teaches me things. She doesn't yell. Did someone yell at you? Veronica yelled. And now, no? Only love. Only love. Daddy loves. Mommy loves. I love. Elsie Aguirre went downstairs. Moved. Camila seems genuinely happy. She is, Alejandro confirmed. I will make the final report. Based on everything I observed, I see no reason to intervene. Honestly, the girl is well cared for, happy, developing. The marriage may have been strategic, but the result is positive for her. I will recommend that the case be closed. After Aguirre left, the family celebrated. It's over, Alejandro said. It's over. Camila asked. Yes, princess. Veronica cannot take you away. She can't. No. That night, Alejandro and Paloma talked after putting Camila to bed. Do you regret it? Paloma asked. Regret marrying you? Taking on a complicated family? Alejandro, this family isn't complicated, it's special. How so? Camila taught me that love has no limits, that happiness is in simple things, that family is who loves you, not who shares your blood. And I learned that being a dad isn't only about giving food and shelter, it's giving attention, affection, presence. Now we are three people who truly love each other, three people who will face everything together. But Alejandro knew Veronica would not easily accept defeat. The war was not yet over. The first weeks of marriage were a period of adjustment. Camila took a few days to get used to calling Paloma Mommy, but once she did, she wouldn't stop. Mommy, look, she'd say with every little achievement. Mommy, come, when she wanted to show something. Mommy, stay with me, when she was afraid. Alejandro watched these interactions with growing emotion. For the first time since Isabella's death, he felt Camila truly had a mother figure. Betraying Isabella's memory? The question caught him off guard. Sometimes yes, but not how you imagine. I feel guilty for taking so long to give Camila what she needed. What thing? A mom who truly loved her. Isabella loved her. She really did. But Isabella died when Camila was a baby. She grew up without a mother figure. And with Veronica, Veronica pretended. And I was too blind to realize it. Alejandro, you did the best you could. Did I? I let my daughter be mistreated for 2 years. You didn't know. I should have known. I'm her father. Paloma took his hand. What matters is that now you know, and you're doing things differently. Thanks to you. Thanks to us. We're a team now. At school, the changes in Camila were evident. The teacher told Paloma, Camila is much more participative in class. How so? Before, she was quiet, withdrawn. Now she raises her hand, asks questions, interacts with classmates. That's good, right? Very good. It shows she's feeling more confident. Confident? How? Children who feel loved at home become more confident at school. And how does she talk about home? She always speaks of Mommy Paloma with affection. She draws the three of you together all the time. At home, Camila constantly drew her family. Always three figures together. Tall daddy, medium mommy, and little Camila, all smiling to eye in the 4th month of marriage. Camila had an inexplicable crying fit. What happened, princess? Alejandro asked. I'm scared. Scared of what? Mommy, she's going to leave. Why would she leave? Veronica left. Alejandro understood. Camila was afraid Paloma would abandon her too. Camila, look at me. She looked at him. Mommy Paloma is not like Veronica. How do you know? Because Mommy Paloma truly loves you. And Veronica didn't love me. No, Veronica pretended. How do I know Mommy isn't pretending? It was a hard question for a little girl. Because when someone truly loves you, you feel it here. Alejandro pointed to his chest. I feel it. Do you feel that Mommy loves you? Yes. Then you can be at peace. Paloma, who had overheard from the doorway, entered. Camila, can I tell you a secret? You can. I chose you. What do you mean? Veronica was forced to take care of you because she married your dad. I chose to take care of you because I wanted to. You chose me? Really? I chose you from the very first day I saw you. Why? Because you're special. And I always wanted a special daughter like you. Really, really? Camila hugged Paloma tightly. I choose you too. For what? To be my mom. Forever. Forever. After that conversation, Camila became more secure. She stopped asking if Paloma would leave and started making plans for the future. Mommy, when I grow up, can I live with you? Of course, you'll always be our daughter. And when you get old, I'll take care of you if you want. I'd love that, because family takes care of family. Alejandro and Paloma exchanged emotional looks. Camila had perfectly understood the meaning of family point one night. Alejandro found Paloma crying in the kitchen. What happened? Nothing bad, just happiness. Alejandro, I never thought I'd have a family, and now I have you and Camila. And we have you. Sometimes it feels like a dream. If it is, I don't want to wake up. Me neither. They hugged, knowing they had built something special. But the next week, Veronica would return to try to destroy everything they had achieved. One Thursday morning, Veronica showed up at the door with a man in a suit. Alejandro, I need to talk to you. What do you want, Veronica? I came to claim what's mine. You have nothing here. Yes, I have rights over Camila. The man introduced himself. Attorney Arturo Barragan. I represent Mrs. Veronica. What rights? Paloma asked from the doorway. The lady was the stepmother of the minor for 2 years. That gives her visitation rights. Alejandro quickly called his lawyer, Fernando. Counselor, I need you here urgently. While they waited, Veronica entered the house. Where's Camila? At school. How convenient. That way, I can talk without her listening. Talk about what? About her future. Veronica, you have no future with Camila. Yes, I do. I was her stepmother for 2 years. I cared for her, educated her. I was her maternal figure. Paloma nearly laughed. Maternal figure? You abused her. That's your version. It's the truth. Prove it. Fernando arrived quickly. What's the situation? Arturo explained. My client wants visitation rights with the child. The law grants this to stepmothers who lived with the child as family. For how long? 2 years. And the specific request? Supervised visits every 2 weeks. And if the father opposes, we can argue in court that his marriage to the maid was only to harm my client's rights. Alejandro realized the trap. If he fought against the visits, Veronica would use it to question his marriage. Counselor, is that possible, technically? Yes, if she proves family coexistence. I can prove it, Veronica said. I have photos, videos, documents. What kind of documents? Medical visits, school meetings I attended, things I bought for her. Alejandro knew Veronica had those things. She always documented everything to look like a good stepmother. But there's one problem, Fernando said. What? If it's proven that there was abuse during that time, the rights are annulled. How do you prove abuse? Arturo asked. Witnesses, evidence, confession. There's none of that. Paloma had an idea. Counselor, can I speak 5 minutes alone with Veronica? It's not advisable. Please, maybe we can solve this without lawyers. Veronica agreed. The lawyers left. Alejandro stayed in the kitchen but secretly left his phone recording. Veronica, what do you really want? I want my rights. What rights? You hated Camila. I didn't hate her. Yes, you did. You said many times she should have died with her mom. You pinched her, left her hungry, yelled at her. I lost my patience sometimes. Sometimes. It was all the time. You mistreated an innocent girl. I tried to love her. Tried? Love doesn't get tried, Veronica. It either exists or it doesn't. I couldn't. Every time I looked at her, I felt rage. Rage at a 7-year-old girl. Rage at the fact Alejandro never loved you like he loved Isabella. And you took it out on Camila. Maybe I did. How? By being harsh, impatient. What else? Paloma, do you want me to confess? I want you to be honest for the first time in your life. Fine. I hated having to pretend I cared about that girl. I hated having to look after her. And how did you show that hatred? By being cruel, by telling her she was a burden. That because of her, Alejandro never. I was going to love her completely. Did you tell that to Camila? I told her that and more. I told her she ruined my chance of being a mom. Alejandro recorded everything in the kitchen. The lawyers came back. They reached an agreement. Arturo asked. Paloma said, Veronica will give up any rights over Camila. What do you mean give up? Alejandro appeared with the phone because Veronica had confessed that she hated and mistreated Camila. Everything was recorded. Arturo looked at Veronica in shock. Is that true? Veronica realized she had fallen into a trap. It was a private conversation that can be used as evidence, Fernando confirmed. Alejandro said, You have 2 options, Veronica. Give up your rights over Camila, or I'll use this recording against you. But no buts. You confessed that you hated my daughter, that you mistreated her, that you told her cruel things. Arturo whispered something in Veronica's ear. My client agrees to give up her rights. In writing, Fernando said. He prepared the renunciation document. Veronica signed with tears in her eyes. Alejandro, you will regret this. Regret what? Choosing this family instead of me. I already chose Veronica, and it was the best decision of my life. Veronica left the house knowing she had lost for good. That afternoon, when Camila came back from school, Alejandro told her Veronica would not bother them anymore. She's gone forever. Forever? Good. Why good? Because now I can be happy without fear. And for the first time since Veronica left the house, Camila smiled without any shadow of fear in her eyes. 3 months later, the family's life had completely stabilized. Veronica's threat was gone, and now they could focus on what truly mattered, being happy together. Camila was blossoming in a way that even surprised the doctors. At the last checkup, Dr. Eduardo said, Camila's development is exceptional. How so? Alejandro asked. She's reaching milestones we didn't expect for her age. What kind of milestones? Communication, motor coordination, social interaction. Everything has improved significantly. What could have caused this? A stable environment, unconditional love, proper stimulation. Paloma smiled proudly. At school, the teacher said Camila was one of the most loved students in her class, even if she was different. Camila asked, Princess, am I different? You're not different. You're special, Alejandro replied. Special is good. Special is wonderful. At home, Camila developed little routines that showed how safe she felt. Every morning, she would wake up and go straight to Alejandro and Paloma's room. Good morning, Daddy. Good morning, Mommy. Good morning, my love, Paloma replied. Can I make breakfast with you? Of course you can. In the kitchen, Camila helped with simple tasks, putting bread on the table, putting away dishes, organizing things. Always humming softly, always smiling. Mommy, can I ask something? Yes, honey. Are you going to have a baby? Paloma was surprised. Why do you ask that? Because other moms at school have babies. And do you want a little brother or sister? Yes, but only if you want one. And if we do, will you help us take care of the baby? Yes. I'll teach the baby everything Mommy taught me. Alejandro and Paloma looked at each other. They had talked about having kids, but hadn't decided anything yet. Camila, even if we have another baby, you will always be our first daughter. Always. Always. Good. A week later, at the school's Family Day festival, each child could bring their family to introduce them. Camila was glowing. Daddy, Mommy, come meet my friends. She introduced them. This is my daddy, Alejandro. This is my mommy, Paloma. A boy asked, Camila, why doesn't your mom look like you? Because she chose me. What do you mean she chose you? She didn't have to be my mom, but she wanted to. That's more special. The teacher was touched by her answer. During the activity, each child had to draw their family. Camila made her usual drawing, 3 figures holding hands, all smiling. But this time she wrote at the bottom, my family that loves me. Camila, did you write this all by yourself? The teacher asked. Yes, Mommy taught me. It's beautiful. At the end of the festival, the principal spoke with Alejandro and Paloma. I want to thank you. For what? Camila has completely changed since you got married. She was a sad, withdrawn child. Now she's one of the most active and participative. She was always special. She just needed love, and you gave it to her. She gave us much more, Alejandro said. On the way home, Camila said, Daddy, Mommy, can I tell you a secret? Of course. I'm the happiest girl in school. Why? Because I have the best family in the world. Even if we're not rich. Rich? In what? Money. Alejandro asked. We are rich in love. That's better. That night, after putting Camila to bed, Alejandro and Paloma talked on the terrace. Do you regret anything? Paloma asked. Nothing. And you? Only that it took me so long to realize what truly matters. What is that? That family isn't about who you're born with. It's about who you choose to love and who chooses to love you back. Camila chose us from the very first day, and we chose her too. Alejandro took Paloma's hand. Do you know what I want for the future? What? I want to grow old watching Camila grow up, graduate, maybe get married, maybe have kids. Do you think she'll achieve all that? With the love she has at home, she can achieve anything, even becoming a mother. And she'll teach her children what? You taught her that love has no limits, that everyone deserves to be loved, that family is about choices, not blood. Paloma's eyes filled with emotion. Alejandro, thank you for letting me be part of this. Thank you for completing our family. They kissed under the stars, knowing they had won the most important battle of their lives. Inside the house, Camila slept peacefully, dreaming of her perfect family, a dad who loved her, a mom who chose her, and a home where she could be exactly who she was. On her nightstand was the drawing she had made at school, Three figures holding hands, smiling, with the words, "My family that loves me." It was proof that true love always wins, and that the best families are built with decisions of the heart, not obligations of blood.